Dizzy Gillespie, Jethro Burns, Steve Goodman, and others. David calls this type of music citified bluegrass or crabgrass.
There was a heart named Alfred. He lived up on a hill. His fiancée deserted him for another heart named Bill. Alfred tried to hold out through, left the supper in the pail. All through the Southfield bag, you could hear his pipe that way. Oh, my darling, please come back to me. Boing, boing, suey, police, suey. Alfred the heart, Alfred the heart. Oh, well, my baby sent at me, I'm going to Rio de Janeiro. I'm a Santa Pedro. When my baby sent at me, the sun died unto my life, and I am free at last. What a fan.
Let's start our brief look at the fifth-year lineup with two very popular groups, Pablo Cruz and Journey. Here's Ry Cooder with a look at the past 100 years or so of jazz.
Married life has changed him somehow. He's the man that they all used to fear, but now the people call him Sweet Papa Willie dear. Stronger than Samson, I declare, till the brown-skinned mama Bobby. Big bad Bill don't fight anymore. Wash his dishes and he mops up the floor. Willie used to spend his evenings looking for fights. Now he's got to see his mama every night. Big bad Bill is sweet William now.
Dr. Hook, the cover of the Rolling Stones.
Teaching us a better way. We got all the friends running in back, so we never have to be alone. And we keep getting richer, but we can't get our picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone, my pen, chopping the Rolling Stone. Coming for my mother. Won't she pass my day on the cover of the Rolling Stone? Seven cover of the Rolling Stone. Won't she my pen, chopping the cover of the Rolling Stone? Five copies for my mother. Won't she pass my day on the cover of the Rolling Stone?
We'll end the highlights of the 5th season with the first show starring Leo Sayer. Now to the current season in Ella Fitzgerald with Count Basie.
Where do we go from here, babe?
Gordon Lightfoot.
If you could replay my love, what a tale my thoughts could tell. Just like an old-time movie about a ghost from a wishing well. In a castle dark or a fortress strong with chains upon my feet, you know that ghost is me. And I will never be set free as long as I am a ghost that you can't see. If I could read your mind, love, what a tale your thoughts could tell. Just like a paperback novel, the kind in a drugstore would sell. When you reach the part where the heartaches come, the hero would be me. But the heroes often fail, and you won't read that book again because the ending's just too hard to take.
I'm proud to have been on the series, and I'm pleased to have been your guide tonight. Good night. my life's a circle, sunrise and sundown. The moon rolls through the nighttime till the daybreak comes around. All my life's a circle, but I can't tell you why. The season's spinning round again, the years keep rolling by. It seems like I've been here before, I sure remember when. And I got this funny feeling that we'll all get together again. There's no straight lines make up my life, and all my roads have bends. There's no clear-cut beginnings, so far no dead ends. I've found you 1,000 times, guess you've done the same. Then we lose each other, it's just like a children's game. As I see you here again, the thought runs through my mind. Our love is like a circle, let's go round one more time.
And his songs are heard on the radio years after there's release. For releases, Cats in the Cradle, Taxi, and WOLD are just three of the big successes of a master storyteller. Please welcome Harry Chapin.
Thank you. Sort of unusual to see my audience. Usually there's spotlights in my eyes when I can't see you guys. But it's nice to be here. With all the talent running through here today, I thought I'd do the one imitation I do well. I do a great version of Harry Chapin, and I thought I'd try it for you. This is a new story that actually is a story of maybe a lot of your lives. It's called Story of a Life. I wrote it recently. I hope you like it. I can see myself, it's a golden sunrise. Young boy, open up your eyes. It's supposed to be your day. Now off you go, rise and bound. You won't stop until you found your own kind of way. And the wind will whip your tousled hair, the sun, the rain, the sweet despair. Brave tales of love and strife. And somewhere on your path to glory, you will write your story of a life. And all the towns that you walk through, and all the people that you talk to, sing you their songs. There are times you change your stride, there are times you can't decide, still you go on. And then the young girls dance their gypsy tunes, and they share the secrets of the moon. So soon you find a wife, and though she sees your dreams go poorly, still she joins your story of a life. So you settle down and the children come, and you find the place that you come from. Your wandering is done, and all your dreams of open spaces you find in your children's faces one by one. And all the trips you know you missed, and all the lips you never kissed, cut through you like a knife. And though you see your dreams go poorly, still she joined your story of a life. So what do you do now when she looks at you now? You know those same old jokes all the jesters tell, you tell them to her now. And all the same old songs all the minstrels sang, you sing them to her now. But it don't matter anyhow, 'cause she knows by now. And every chance you take don't mean a thing. What variations can you bring to this shop-worn melody? And every year goes by like a tolling bell. It's battered merchandise you sell not well, she can see. And though she's heard it all 1,000 times, couched in your attempted rhymes, she'll march to your drum and fight. But the question echoes up before me, where's my magic story of a life? Now I found sometimes words can serve me well, sometimes words can go to hell for all that they do. And for every dream that took me high, there's been a dream that's passed me by. I know it's so true. And I can see it clear out to the end, and I'll whisper to her now again, because she shared my life. Far more than all the ghosts of glory, she makes up the story. She's the only story of my life. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Atlantic City.
My next guest from Sly and the Family Stone.
This is the album.
Yes.
On Boardwalk. It's called Sequel. Talk about it, because it's just burst.
This is an amazing story in Americana. This is the sequel to the original hit that Harry had called Taxi.
Right.
And it tells what happened to the taxi cab driver and the actress 10 years later. And the very first station in the United States to go on this record was a little station called WABC in New York City. Powerful. And we put it at the top of the front red page. Do you know what that means?
On the Friday morning quarterback.
Last week, and then this week it was the most added record in the United States. 15 major city stations added it for a total of 76 altogether. So Harry is right back at the top.
I couldn't wish an artist more than I wish Harry Chapin. He's given us great music over the years. His songs tell stories. And today I'm very proud he's going to be here, and he's going to do Sequel for you right now. As you said, where Taxi left off. Here is Harry Chapin.
You know, the years go by and your voice gets lower, and all things can change so fast. Still, nothing can set off your heartbeat as when you return yourself to your past. Yeah, she's acting happy inside her handsome home. And me, I'm flying in my taxi, taking tips, getting stoned. I got into town a little early, had 8 hours to kill before the show. First I thought about heading up north of the bay, and I knew where I had to go. about taking a limousine, or at least a fancy car. But I ended up taking a taxi, 'cause that's how I got this far. It was 10 years ago and in the front seat, driving stone and feeling no pain. Now here I am straight and sitting in the back, hitting 16 Parkside Lane. The driveway was the same as I remember, and a butler came and answered the door. He just shook his head when I asked for her, said she doesn't live here anymore. But he offered to give me the address. They were forward on our letters too. I just took it and turned to the cabbie and said, I got one more fare for you. So we rolled back into the city, up to a 5-story old brownstone. I rang the bell and had her name on the mailbox. The buzzer said somebody's home. And the look on her face as she opened the door was like an old joke told by a friend. It had taken her 10 more years, but she found her smile, and I watched the corner start to bend. And she said, how are you, Harry? Have we played the scene before? I said, it's so good to see you soon. Have to play it out just once more. Play it out just once more. She said, I've heard you flying high on my radio. I said, it's not all it seems. That's when she laughed and she said, it's better sometimes when you don't get to touch your dreams. That's when I asked her, where was that actress? She said that was somebody else. When I asked her why she looked so happy now, she said, I finally like myself. At last I like myself. Said we got too damn good at leaving soon. sang that night, and of how the circle keeps rolling around, and of how actors are facing the footlights, how she's flying with both feet on the ground. Yes, I guess it's a sequel to our story, from our journey between heaven and hell, with half the time thinking of what might have been, and thinking just as well. I guess
Another powerful one. Great, congratulations. We'll come back.
Our thanks to all the great artists who performed today, and thank you, Cal Rudman.
It's nice to see that in the fickle world of the music business, where stars are overnight successes and then disappear just as quickly as that, there are sturdy few who've managed to maintain a solid career for more than a decade. And that is certainly the case with our next guest, and it couldn't happen to a nicer or more talented guy. Here with his song from his new album is Harry Chapin.
Thank you, Mike. Indeed, it's been a good year for us, a good decade. Starting a new one. Actually, this year has been the best we ever had, but this past April I had sort of a melancholy duty. One of my three heroes, a guy named Allard Lowenstein, got shot. Though you don't remember who Al was, back in the early 60s, he more than anyone else got young white America involved in the quest for racial justice. Later on in the 60s, he went and saw Bobby Kennedy and asked him if he'd run against President Johnson to end the Vietnam War. Bobby said no. Then he went and saw Gene McCarthy, who said yes, and the rest is history. Early 70s, Al was in Congress himself. Mid-70s, he was UN Ambassador for Human Rights at the United Nations. In 1980, he saw a kid that nobody else would see who was crazy and put 7 bullets into it. Spent that Friday night hoping that he would pull through. He died before midnight. And I wrote this song the next morning when I got up. It's called Remember When the Music Came. Remember when the music came from wooden boxes strung with silver wire, and as we sang the words, it would set our minds on fire, for we believed in things, and so we'd sing. Don't you remember when the music could bring us all together to stand inside the rain? As we sang the words, we would meet the refrain. We had dreams to live, we had hopes to give. Don't you remember when the music was the best of what we dreamed of for our children's time? And as we sang, we worked, but we knew time was just a line. A gift we saved, a gift the future gave. All the times I listened and all the times I heard, night across the valley as the day went down. And as we'd hum the melody, we'd be safe inside the sound. And so we'd sleep, but we had dreams to keep. Strung with silver wire, and as we sang the words, it would set our minds on fire. We believed in things, and so we'd sing, and so we'd sing.
Comment on what's happening with that record of yours.
Oh, boy.
Is that the quickest rising record that you've had?
Yeah, the first 2 weeks it went 70, 54, and next week it may even be in the 30s. It's just going crazy.
Isn't that wonderful?
Well, Taxi, the original story was the #1 requested song in America for 10 weeks in a row, and back in 72. And it's interesting because I haven't gone new wave or disco or heavy metal or whatever. I've just been telling my stories over in my own little category over here. Every once in a while, one gets on the radio.
When did this happen, this sequel?
Well, I saw the girl again a year ago this spring, and I wrote a poem about it, actually, and I was, as an encore to some of the concerts, I was speaking the poem. Then I started fiddling around with different melodies, part that seemed a little bit similar to the old Taxi part, different parts. And then we cut one version that was 8 minutes and 30 seconds long. I wasn't worried about the length, because the original Taxi was almost 7 minutes long. And then, but I was trying to make the story as accurate as I could. And then this July cut one about 6.5 minutes long, which was 14 seconds shorter than Taxi. It's funny, it's the one song that evidently the radio programmers don't argue about the length of, because it's
that wild, because usually if a record's over 3 minutes they complain, and because they have to get their commercials in. They can't play it in 2 parts.
And the people who love me most in the record business are constipated disc jockeys. You know,
You tour so much, and I'm wondering, because I read somewhere that your wife had said something very interesting. You tour so much that how much do you get home to see your wife and your children?
Well, this last 2 months have been crazy. I've done 53 concerts, of which 43 were benefits. I'm involved in food and hunger issues, so I've done a lot for senators and congressmen who are good in that issue in both parties. And I called home 3 days ago, and I got my son on the phone, and Sandy picked up the other phone at the same time. And this is absolute truth. Joshy goes, "When you coming home, Dad?" And my wife has got a kind of humor. She says, "Don't know when, but we'll have a good time then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then." Your wife. Well, it's, you know, Cats in the Cradle is the song that she wrote the lyrics to, zinging me for running around the country too much. And Joshy, of course, didn't even realize what he was doing.
He made a statement that said, "Our home is for all of us except when Harry is here."
Well,
what does that mean?
Well, it just means that when I'm home, there's always a lot of meetings and things coming through. And it's I grew up in a 6-brother type family, and all kinds of madness, and so I'm at my most...
No sisters?
Well, my father married again, had some daughters, but basically I grew up in a family of 6 boys.
You're the most socially involved entertainer around. Do you spend much time at the White House?
Well, when I was lobbying for the President's Commission on World Hunger, which I am a part of, chairman of the Committee for Public Outreach and Public Participation, I used to go there about 2 or 3 times a week. And it got to the point where there was really one funny moment. When the President was announcing the commission, I went in a car with Senator Leahy, Senator McGovern, and then Senator Dick Clark, who's since lost. And we got to the White House gates, and I had just flown up the night before in my dungarees, and I have a 3-piece suit hanging in office to the lobby, and so I changed in it without putting my wallet or any identification in. And we got to the gate, and the guard looks in and says, "Okay, what do you got?" And so the 3 senators have to pull out their identification. And I say, "Oh, no, I forgot." And the guy looks and says, "Oh, Chapin." I said, go ahead, go on in. And the 3 senators go, "Hey!" But anyway, no, I've been there about 25 times.
Have you ever been given any problems by the Secret Service at all?
Well, the only real problem I had was one time I walked in and I was in my usual bouncy state, was running up from the basement to the first floor, a lot of the officers in the basement, and I ripped my suit pants. And, I mean, literally from the back of belt loop all the way around, the front. And so I spent that whole day sort of sidling around the walls, and I started getting a lot of funny looks from the Secret Service. But I made it through. I eventually just tied my jacket around my waist as we were meeting in the Roosevelt room about the commission.
You've performed there, haven't you, Harry?
I've not performed there per se, but I suspect I think my greatest performance ever was sitting in the vice president's chair across from the president, and being the only layman there were 7 senators and 12 congressmen in both parties, and giving the pitch that I've been practicing on for about 2 years, saying that we needed to reevaluate American food and hunger policy.